to today's video. Thank you so much for clicking on it and joining me to see what I cooked this week for my vegetarian family. Not only am I cooking for my small family of 3 this week, but I'm also cooking for my parents and my brother and sister-in-law and just kind of anybody who shows up at my parents' house. It tends to be the hub for people hanging out. So tonight, I don't even know who I was cooking for, but I was making a lentil and Swiss chard meal. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did not love this, and I kind of thought about not even including it in this video, but that's not really the spirit of this whole series. I really want to show you an honest look in my life of cooking, and not every new recipe is gonna turn out to be a new favorite. And sometimes I get really sad about that because I just love trying out new recipes and having them be awesome. And if you find a lot of really good resources, great blogs and cookbooks that you trust, I think a lot of times your meals will turn out awesome if you follow the directions. But this is one where I followed the directions, still didn't love it, but it happens. It's fine. This is kind of what I would call like a peasant meal. It's lentils and greens, and then you scoop it up with some nice bread. So I really like the idea behind it, and I definitely learned some things from this recipe. I think that's a cool thing about recipes. I think you almost always can learn something new from a recipe that you've never tried. So in this one, it's got Swiss chard in it, and the recipe called for you to dice up the stems and then kind of, I'd say maybe quick pickle them would be the term for it. So you let them sit in lemon juice while you're doing the rest of the recipe, and the lemon juice kind of softens them and gives them some brightness, and I really did like that part in the dish. So that's something that I would consider maybe using in the future again if I was working with Swiss chard, which honestly Swiss chard is not my favorite ingredient. It's a little bit bitter and I don't love the texture, but I wanted to try it in this recipe, and yeah, it was fine. This was from one of my mom's cookbooks, and I will link that cookbook down below. It was the Milk Street cookbook, and I will also see if I can find a similar recipe just in a blog somewhere that you can have access to for free. Can I just say how thankful I am to be filming in my parents' kitchen? Not only is it huge and has a really nice big stove, but it also has so much lighting. I am loving it. My dad is a serious handyman, and he actually did all of the lighting in this kitchen and dining room, and I'm not sure how much of the rest of the house. It's pretty impressive. And there are so many lights in this kitchen, it makes you feel like you're walking down a catwalk or something, but it is so great for editing these videos. I'm really thankful. I guess I didn't get a picture of a finished plate, but here is the lentil dish and the bread that I made in last week's video that we used to scoop it up. So check out last week's video if you want to see the recipe that I used to make French bread.
Hello, viewers. Hello, viewers. Your regular host, Susie Marjorie, couldn't be here today. So I'm here to show you one of my favorite baking treats. Actually called mug treats. It's got treat right in the name. This is produced by a little known baker named Betty Crocker. So I want to really advance her spirit in the building of these cakes. Okay, we got lots of decisions when we make these mug treats. First one is, what flavor do we want? And I want to encourage you, don't feel pressure. Lots of people make mistakes. Lots of people choose the rainbow chip cake, but that's a bad decision. We're gonna go with the hot fudge brownie recipe today. Pro tip, when you visit other people's houses, explore what mugs they have available. Dad's motto, if it's not broken, take it apart anyway. Lose some of the pieces. and then it will be. Another mistake you might make, grabbing the Yankees mug. Avoid the Yankees. I like that dad mug. We'll choose that one for me. And, oh, you saw this classic in an earlier video, so let's bring it back. There it is. Add 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon water or milk. Oh, curious. There's my tablespoon. And we're just going to assume that a teaspoon is the same as a tablespoon. So we'll put a second one in there. Stir until well blended. A weaker man would use a KitchenAid for this business, but working at home, I need to keep up my figure. So I'm doing this one full manual, folks.
More milk, honey.
Always wash your hands. I think I need more milk. Microwave uncovered on high as directed below. Just pop it on a minute. Usually works out. This is what it looks like on the inside. Squeeze topping over brownie. Bloop, 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 bloop. Now it's time for the special surprise. Susie Marjorie thinks she knows everything, but she was pretty taken aback the first time I presented mug treat a la mode. The secret there is you get ice cream and then you put it on top.
Okay, I'm here to sample my husband's wonderful baking skills. I heard he worked very hard on this. I can't wait to review the footage. I'm so surprised, honey. Mug cake a la mode. You're so good to me, honey. Aww. Maybe we can get Cody back on here to bake another microwave treat in the future. This is delicious though, I gotta say. This day we needed a quicker dinner because we had some people over and dinner just kind of snuck up on us. So I decided to pull out my mom's Instant Pot and make a kind of quinoa black bean burrito stuffing. You could definitely use this as the base of a taco salad or grain bowl. It's a really versatile kind of thing to just whip up and everybody can find a way to like it. So I just really wanted to put it in a tortilla shell tonight, and it was so good like that. It's basically just sauteed onion, and then you add in a lot of spices and peppers, beans, and some veggies. And then you put it in the Instant Pot and let it cook. I do not have an Instant Pot at home, and it's really fun to get to use my mom's when I'm here and get to try it out to see if I'd like to get one in the future. And every time I come, I'm a little more convinced that I think I do want to take the plunge into the pressure cooker. Wow, that's really scary. But I know you can also get old school pressure cookers that just sit on your stove as well. So I've also thought about that because they're a little bit smaller, and I don't think I would need all the different functions on the Instant Pot. So if anybody has any experience with just a regular old pressure cooker and how that compares to buying an Instant Pot, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your input. This is also a great meal because it is gluten-free and vegan, and I think nobody dislikes these flavors that I've come across. So it's really good if you've got some people over and maybe you don't know their dietary concerns, because it feels like everybody has some these days, including me. So yeah, this is a really good crowd-pleasing meal. I had to leave the audio in for this next clip so that you'll understand why almost all of this whole video is muted, because at the time of filming we had 3 kids under the age of 2 in this house. I just want to take this time to remind you to like this video if you've made it this far, and also subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying this content. I do upload vegetarian cooking weeks every Sunday afternoon, and it really encourages me when I see those likes, when I read your comments, and when I get new subscribers. It means a lot because these videos are a lot of work for me. On this day, I decided to use up some tofu that had been in the freezer, so I thawed it that day and I wanted to air fry it. So I found a marinade kind of sauce from Pinterest that was soy sauce and honey based, and then you coat the tofu in cornstarch and spices and shake them all around and get them coated, and then you air fry them for about 15 minutes, and this is what they come out looking like. Really crispy and golden, almost too crispy in my opinion. It almost tasted like there was no interior of them, it was all just toastiness. So maybe I would do a little less time on the air fryer next time, but it was a fun meal to have. It was very takeout inspired, and we had it over brown rice with some fresh steamed broccoli done in the steamer basket in a big pot. On this cozy afternoon, I was looking through my mom's old church cookbook, and I found her recipe for Dean's favorite oatmeal cookies. And this is one of my very favorite recipes, and Dean is my dad's name. So these are his favorite cookies, and I always knew that growing up, that these were the cookies that Dad likes and that they don't have chocolate in them. And that's, I think, why he likes them so much, because he's maybe not as big of a chocolate junkie as the rest of us are. So this is a recipe that I turn to pretty often when I am making cookies, which is pretty often. These are the best oatmeal cookie, oatmeal raisin. Usually oatmeal raisin cookies are pretty flat and chewy, but these ones are really different. They definitely have a little more of a rise to them, and they're crispy on the outside and they are tender on the inside, and they just are really good. I think I actually really like that these cookies don't have chocolate in them, because you feel like you can eat a couple without getting like a sugar hangover or just feeling like you're really covered in chocolate. I like these like in the afternoon just with my coffee or whatever. They're a good kind of snacky cookie like that. But probably my favorite thing to do with them is to eat like 3 or 4 with a glass of dairy milk. Oh man, that is just really good. I don't have cow's milk that often anymore, but with certain things, I think it's just so nostalgic. And these cookies are really nostalgic for me. I remember growing up, my mom making these, and she would encourage me that I could eat as many as I wanted. They had some nutritional benefits from all the nuts and raisins and oatmeal. I'm totally going with it. Here I am trying to pull the cookies out of the oven while nursing Saffron. So yeah, mom life. We just pulled the cookies out of the oven. They're a little more brown than I like them to be, but I had my hands full, so they were left in just a little too long. Also, my parents' oven tends to brown things a lot more than mine at home would. But, excuse you, they're gonna be really delicious with a glass of oat milk or regular milk, and I can't wait. We don't know why Saffron's hair looks like this today, but it totally does. You gonna smile? What happened to your hair? We've made it to the last meal in this video, and this is a broccoli chickpea pita sandwich that has become a new favorite of mine. I think I discovered it this summer, and it is so fresh and easy to make, and it works really well as a lunch or a dinner. This recipe calls for a shaved head of a broccoli. You don't cook the broccoli, you leave it raw. And normally that's not hard for me to do with a knife, but for some reason it must have taken me at least 10 minutes to shave this head of broccoli. I used my mom's mandolin and I don't know, I just could not get through that. So even in 16 times speed, it took a long time. I love the Mediterranean flavors in this dish. There's sun-dried tomatoes, feta, and Kalamata olives. They are so delicious, and there's a simple lemon dressing that you put on top. This actually is a really great salad on its own that you could definitely bring to like a church potluck or a summertime picnic. I really think it would be great for that, and since it's not mayonnaise based, it also would fare better in warm weather than some kind of pasta salads that are a little heavier. This recipe is from a blog called Cookie and Kate, and it's definitely my favorite vegetarian food blog. It's actually pretty hard to find vegetarian resources online because it's kind of vegan or bust if you are on the internet sharing food that's at all plant-based. So if you are a vegetarian, I totally recommend checking out Cookie and Kate, and I will have that linked in the description box. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode, and I can't wait to share more yummy recipes with you next Sunday.